Okay, so lesson 2.3 is a hopefully very quick review of adding and subtracting with decimal numbers. So as I go ahead here, first of all, remember your keys, things that you have to remember. One, to add or subtract decimal numbers, we have to line up the decimals. Okay, have to. Two, if you do not see the decimal, if you can't find it, it is located at the end of the number. Mathematicians shorten things up. We leave decimals off if they are at the end of the number. And three, you may use, and some you don't always have to put in zeros, but zeros can be used as placeholders to help you line up numbers. So, also, order of addition at least does not make a difference. So you have the choice. If you are the type of person who prefers to put your bigger numbers on top, you can. But in this particular case, I'm just going to go ahead, 3 62/100ths. I'm going to line up my decimals, so my decimal and my second number will go there. And I'm writing out of order, but okay, so line up your decimals. So in this particular case, we would have something like that. But again, if you wanted to put the 18 on top, you could. And just add north and south, up and down. Carry if you need to. So 6 plus 2, well, that's 9. 6 plus 5, well, that is 11. And remember, we only have a spot for the second number in 11, so we'll put the second one down. Decimal comes straight down. And we will carry that extra 10 to the next column, and then we'll just add up the next column. 8 plus 3 plus 1. Well, that's basically 8 plus 4, so that's 12. So my 2 comes down, and I carry my 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. So my sum here is 22 19/100ths. And if we went back to that previous section on estimating, this is basically 4. This is 18 or so. 18 plus 4 is 22. Is my answer around 22? Sure it is, so it makes sense. 9, remember the decimal in 9, it's not given, is at the end of the number. So if I were to line this all up, I could go 9. That is a very poorly written 9. Let me try that again. So 9, my decimal is at the end, 3.245. Now, if you want in this particular case, and it doesn't actually, it's not 100% necessary, many people will. You will fill in zeros here as placeholders. You don't have to. You could actually go 5 plus nothing at all is 5. And then 4 plus nothing at all is 4. And then 2 plus nothing is 2. But if you want those zeros there, if it helps you, go ahead. 9 plus 3 is 12. And now technically here you could, if you wanted to, carry a 1 and go 1 plus nothing. But 9 plus 3 is 12. And so there we go. And does 9 plus 3 12? Yeah, basically. So our answer at least makes sense here. All right. In this particular case, you'll notice that I have decimals. Okay, so I'm going to have to line them up. And I have a negative plus a negative. Well, you have to remember your rules, your sign rules. 2 negatives added together. I am going to actually add their values together, and they will be a negative in this particular case. Now, just to illustrate that I can change the order of addition, I'm going to put the 18 3/10 on top just because. So that means 5 78/100ths. In this case, we'll go down here lining up my decimals. And again, I am taking the sum, I'm adding those together, and when I get all done, I need a negative. Now, if you want the 0 here, go ahead and put it. You don't necessarily have to have it. Watch, 8 plus nothing. Well, that's 8. Okay. But then 8 plus 0 would be 8. So either way. 3 plus 7 is 10. My decimal will come straight down, and I do have to carry that 1 in the 10 to the next place. 8 plus 1 is 9. Plus 5 is 14. Carry a 1 again. 1 plus 1 is 2. So I have a negative 24 8/100ths. All right, we're going to shift gears in subtraction. So 12 49/100ths. Now, in subtraction, order does make a difference. The larger absolute value has to be on the top. Okay, when we're doing decimal addition and subtraction, so the 12 is bigger than the 7, that will be on the top. 7 and 25 hundredths. Now remember that in subtraction, there may be cases where we may have to do a little bit of borrowing. But anyway, 9 minus 5, well, that's 4. 4 minus 2, well, that's 2. And there are two ways you can do this one. Many of you at this point will go ahead and borrow, because you'll go 2 minus 7. Well, I can't do that. You'll borrow from the 1, and you'll take 1 away from it. So that will leave me 0. You will take the 1 from here and make it part of, in this case, the 1's column. And so when we add, what we're doing actually is we're adding 10. So 10 plus 2 is 12. So this becomes 12. 12 minus 7 is 5. Now, one of the things, I would not have actually done the borrowing. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to quickly erase this part here, and I'm going to show you what I would have done. Okay, so this was 12. When I got to this portion right here, knowing that I was going to borrow from this, make this a 0, and bring a 1 over, either way I was going to end up with 12. I would have just gone 12 minus 7 is 5 right here. That is one little shortcut that over time you can use if you get comfortable with it. Alright, 14, and remember the decimal will be at the end, and 14 in this case has the larger absolute value, so it will go on top. So 14 point, and then 732 on the bottom. Most people, which actually I think in subtraction does help, to have the placeholder zeros. Now I'm going to do a long way and I'm going to do a short way. Okay, first I'm going to do the long way that most of you probably have worked with. 0 minus 2. Can't do it. Got to borrow. I go here. Well, this is 0. Can't borrow from it. So you go to the next place. Alright, 4 becomes 3. Take 1 out of it. Bring it to the next column. Borrow from this. 10 becomes 9. And bring over your 1. So now 10 minus 2 is 8. 9 minus 3 is 6. 3 minus 7, well, and again, you could borrow, make this a 0, and bring over your 1 and get 13. Or you could just right now go 13 minus 7. Okay, without doing the subtraction, or without doing the, so 13 minus 7, well, that's 6. But if you want to borrow, go ahead. 0, 13, either way, it's still 13 minus 6. Now, one other thing that I would have done, and I'm going to show you another shortcut here, and if you get comfortable, if you want to do it this way, do it this way. But what I would have done is there's one other little shortcut in this problem that I would have worked with, 732. Let me line this up. I would have went like this, okay? 0 minus 2 can't do it. I would have taken this right here, 4 and 0, and I would have treated them as 40. And I would have went, okay, instead of borrowing out of the 4, bringing it over, borrowing again and bringing it over, I would have just borrowed 1 from 40, and I would have made this 39. 1 minus, 1 out of 40 is 39. You'll notice I had a 39 over here too. And I did the borrowing in one step, at least in that particular case. 10 minus 2 is 8. 9 minus 3 is still 6. And then I would have done the 13 minus 7 is 6. Okay, so I would have thrown in another shortcut. Again, it's just a shortcut. If you're comfortable with using it, go ahead and do so. If not, do it the long way. Just do whatever it takes for you to be correct. So, transportation application. During 1 month in the United States, 492.23 million commuter trips were taken on buses, and 331 million, I should just say 26.331 million commuter trips were taken on light rail. How many more trips were taken on buses than on light rail? Okay, so in this particular case, we better do a little bit of subtraction and then estimate to check whether your answer is reasonable. how about we do the estimation part first? 492 minus 26, and you know what? We probably can make this a little bit simpler if we were to round things off. What if we called this 25 and we called this 5? Again, I'm just I'm just estimating, calling these both 5 so that they cancel out, and 9, that's 7. So should end up being about 470 million. Okay, but in order to figure out the actual answer, we are going to have to go ahead and subtract them. So we're doing this the long way in this case. So 492 and 23 hundredths, 26 and 300. Oh, that didn't come out very well. Let me go ahead and erase. 331 million. And a 0. Well, 0 minus 1, can't do it. So I will borrow from it. 10 minus 1 is 9. 2 minus 3, can't do it. So borrow. 12 minus 3 is 9. 1 minus 3, can't do it. 11 minus 3 is 8. Decimal will come straight down. 1 minus 6, can't do it. Borrow again. 11 minus 6 is 5. 8 minus 2 is 6. And 4. So 465 and 899.899 million more commuter trips happen on buses than on light rail. Is it a sensible answer? Well, we estimated 470, so yeah, I'd say it's a sensible answer. So. All right, we are at the end of the section. Go ahead and work on some practice problems of your own, and good luck.